Hello everyone, welcome to our second to last installment in this series of ranking rides and attractions at the Disney parks. Today's video will be short and sweet, but will offer you insight on what my favorite rides are at the Animal Kingdom. So let us begin the ranking. The Triceratops Spin is your typical ride akin to Dumbo. At the bottom of nearly every single list I've made across all the parks, I put the Dumbo-like rides and carousels at the lowest possible spots. To me, they're not very fun, and they're just not my age range. They're not targeted to me. I never really grew up with nostalgic memories on here, so that's why Triceratops Spin is so low. It's Tough to Be a Bug is similar to shows like the PhilharMagic or Muppet Vision 3D. I actually got to see It's Tough to Be a Bug back in California Adventure when Bugs Land was an actual thing. Nowadays, that's the Avengers Campus. It's the same here, but will soon be taken over by Zootopia, which I think is sad. But hey, It's Tough to Be a Bug is pretty charming. It sometimes can be frightening for little ones, and it's pretty fun all around. Now, I know it's going to come as a surprise to you that a Grand Rapid ride would rank this low on a list. The Kali River Rapids, in my eyes, is a huge step down from Grizzly River Run. This ride will barely get you wet, and it just really feels lackluster. The whole mythology of Kali is very, very interesting if approached the right way. In fact, I made an entire video on her cult. You can go check that out. It's going to be linked in the description. But on this ride, they don't really build it up in an interesting way. It's not explored in an interesting way. They just kind of make her this evil goddess of like water, and it's very, very lame. Now, here's where we go from the just okay things to the great things and greater things, the amazing stuff. And to kick that off, I'm going to have a dinosaur. Now look, I understand that there are dinosaur purists out there that just love this ride so much. Don't get me wrong, dinosaur is fun. It's cool, it's interesting, it's nice at times, but it's a very run down and dark and dated ride. I mean, this ride is so dark in terms of lighting that you can barely see the show scenes, which to me is kind of sad. I understand it's supposed to be very dark for the nighttime atmosphere and the scary dinosaurs will pop out at you, but the lighting on the dinosaurs has gone down over time. And to me, it felt like somewhat of a fever dream getting on this ride. It's fun, it's interesting, but I'm really excited to see the new Indiana Jones ride that will be implemented here instead of Dinosaur. I mean, Dinosaur has really gotten to the point, at least in my mind, that refurbishments don't even come close to helping this thing out. So, I think it needs an update. Entering the top half of this list, we have the Na'vi River Journey. The Na'vi River Journey is a stunning ride on a visual level. The sets are really beautiful, the atmosphere is great, but the only bad thing is there's a lack of sights. I know I just said that it's visually stunning and the sets are great, but it's just plants. There's no narrator, there's just some nice calm music, but there's no animatronics. There's one big animatronic. Each scene in this ride is very dull and kind of lifeless, but the stunning sets of the life on the Na'vi River Journey make this a better ride. But to me, it's kind of like the ride that Disney was like, oh, we have space here, we shouldn't put a restaurant here, let's put a ride in. And they built the most basic water ride, but they added one of the most complex and innovative animatronics for one single scene. So it seemed like they poured all the budget into one part of this ride. Now, coming in at number 3, we have Expedition Everest. Expedition Everest is a great ride that I really love. The thrill of this ride is actually amazing in how it's set up, and although the Yeti does not work, it's still a fun ride. In my mind, this is the closest Disney will possibly ever get to a Six Flags level ride, although this does have theming, while Six Flags rides barely have theming at all. which is great to see from, Disney having theming. Now, the theming here is actually done well. It fits the ride pretty well. And comparing this to Matterhorn, this is superior in how they tell the story. The story of the Matterhorn is pretty well told, but I think it just hits harder on this ride, maybe because of the surprising nature of this massive lift hill only to be shot back and this big scary Yeti is there. Honestly, Matterhorn to me is a better ride, but this is the most thrilling Disney ride I've ever been on, or actually I will say second most thrilling ride that I've ever been on. It's actually, now that I think about it, the second closest to a Six Flags ride. Come back for next week's ranking to see the number one. But this is a cool ride. It sets you up thinking you're gonna have this massive drop off, but it's the broken rail, and it's pretty cool. The Kilimanjaro Safari is actually one of the greatest rides I've ever been on. It's easily, possibly the greatest Disney ride, which is so funny when Disney is barely a part of this. The Kilimanjaro has tour guides. It reminds me of Jungle Cruise, where you have live people there, or Storybook Canal, although this time you actually get to go through a safari and see real living animals, and I really, really, really love that about this. This ride is stunning, spectacular. The first time I ever got on it, and the only time I got on it at the beginning of the morning, just like right in the morning, and it was great getting on this ride. Of course, with no surprise to anybody, our number one spot is Avatar: Flight of Passage. No other ride to me has felt so amazing or looked so stunning at the same time. I'm usually not a huge fan of rides that utilize screens a whole lot, but Avatar and Soarin' do the best with screens in my mind. Now, think of Soarin', but the ride has fantastical beasts, and you actually get to fly on the backs of these beasts, and that is Pandora. Also, you're in the mythical world of Pandora, created by James Cameron through the Avatar films. It's great. It's visually stunning, and I think it fits really well that both of these rides in Pandora are visually stunning. The biggest thing about the Avatar films are the visually stunning looks of it. I mean, think about it. Do you really feel like there's a bunch of Avatar fans out there? I feel like there's a lot of people that enjoy the films, but they kind of just watch them in the movies as a cinematic event, and then they never really revisit these films. And I'm not a huge fan of Avatar. I think it's a good enough film. I don't think it's like super duper amazing or anything, but I do love the visuals, and this land brings it all to life, and especially this ride. The smells, the environment on such a somewhat limited ride where you just kind of sit on this thing and it rocks you back and forth, somehow is one of the greatest Disney rides ever made. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed our ranking of the Animal Kingdom rides. Come back next week for our very final ranking of Disney. We will rank all of Hollywood studios, rides, and attractions.